Hey, 8th graders, we are still continuing to look at factoring. A few different examples to look at here that we haven't seen much yet, but where we have the leading coefficient is something other than 2, a bigger number than 2. So in this first one, 6x squared plus 5x minus 6, we're looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 36 and then add to 5. Well, we could look at the factors of 36 and 9 and 4. Would end up giving us 36 and positive 5. So when we write our set of parentheses, when the number is something other than 2, we need to split up the factors of that leading coefficient into our parentheses. Okay, so we really were doing that with 2, but it was always just 2 and 1. So it didn't really make any difference. But now we need to split up the 6 into 3x and 2x in order for us to be able to factor it. Okay? So our numbers that will give us negative 36 and positive 5 would be positive 9 and negative 4. So 9 can be divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3, so we're going to put 3 in the second set of parentheses. 2 can be, or negative 4 can be divided by 2, so we put 2 in the first set of parentheses. That's going to be a negative 2 and a positive 3. Now let's check it with FOILing. That gives us 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times 3 is 9x. Negative 2 times 2x is negative 4x. 9x and negative 4x does give us a positive 5x. And then negative 2 times 3 gives us a negative 6. So it does work. So then this would be our factoring right here. So 3x minus 2, 2x plus 3. Okay, so the thing that's a little bit different is where we split up that leading coefficient into its factors as well, into our parentheses. Okay, so let's try that with this one. There's nothing we can factor out of there. So, okay, so the leading coefficient is 3. So it's going to be 3m and really 1m. So again, this is kind of like when we had 2. It doesn't really make a difference, but we are splitting it up there. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 9 and then add to negative 8. Well, that would be negative 9 and 1. Okay, will give us negative 8. So 9 is divisible by 3. Negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. So we put that in the second parenthesis. Puts our positive 1 in the first parenthesis. Let's check it. 3m times m is 3m squared. 3m times negative 3 is negative 9m. Then we have a positive 1m, giving us a total of negative 8m. And 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. So that's good right there. The next example, we have some like terms we can combine. So let's do that right away. First thing we do is combine those. Okay, then we always want to try and simplify as much as possible. Factor any constants out. Just going to make it a little bit easier. So we can actually take a 2 out of all of this. So that would give us 2c squared minus 5c minus 3. Okay, now we're going to bring the 2 down. Do our two sets of parentheses, 2c and c. We're looking for something that multiplies to negative 6 and adds to negative 5. So that would be negative 6 and positive 1. Would do that for us. Negative 6 is divisible by 2, which gives us negative 3. And then we put the 1 over here. 1 divided by 1 is just 1. And let's check that. So that would be 2c times c is 2c squared. 2c times 3 is negative 6c. 1 times c is a positive 1. So negative 6c plus 1c is a negative 5c. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. So that all works. That would be our factored one. Okay? Good. And then on number 4, we're going to continue that. So now we have 16 as our leading coefficient. Okay, so when we factor that, well, first, is there anything we can take out of all of this? I think there is. Looks like 4 So we can take 4 out. So 16 divided by 4 is 4, 48 divided by 4 is 12, 36 divided by 4 is 9. Okay, so now we're looking for two numbers that multiply to 36 and add to 12. So that would be 6 and 6. So we're going to split up this leading coefficient again. We're not going to do 4m and m because that's not going to allow us to factor. If we split it up into 2m and 2m, though, it does allow us to factor. So our two numbers that multiply to 36 and add to 12 are 6 and 6. They're both divisible by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. And we can FOIL that to check, and it does give us 4m squared plus 12m plus 9. So we know that works, and that would be our final answer. Okay? So always looking for what constants or variables too that we can factor out and put in front before we even do any factoring or any double bubble type of factoring. And then if our leading coefficient is something other than 2 or 3, so if our leading coefficient is a number that's not prime, then we need to split that up into its factors as well in order to help us factor. All right? So you have a worksheet again today. Answer keys in the folder. If you get stuck, if you need to check it, check your answers when you're finished, and then make sure you turn those in, and make sure that's done by tomorrow. All right, have fun.